Let's go live now. This is James Smidyk speaking from trainingsites.io, and I'm going to share with you something today that I think is going to change your entire business if you're an online course creator. What am I talking about? Well, there was two announcements made yesterday. ChatGPT / OpenAI announcements, some big changes that have happened both at OpenAI and also at Google that are going to change everything for online course creators. And I'm going to go through why that happens. I've included the links to the actual talks or the tabs that I was looking at. And this is really, really, really important. And let me step back for a bit, because one of the things that happens for me personally, of course, is that I've been creating courses for a long time. And in fact, I've got hundreds of courses and thousands of tutorials that I've done that for all intents and purposes moving forward are going to be useless. It's information that's there, but does it promise an outcome? Does it actually save time for people and get them what they want in terms of the skill they need to learn or the outcome that they need to produce? And the problem with that is courses are, even though they seem to be popular now, people are talking about, create courses, be independently wealthy in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen. There's some big changes happening with all of the AI tools, and it's dramatically changing the need for courses and the type of courses that you're going to be creating. Big picture here is that I think courses are going to be going kind of south. And what I mean by that is online learning or e-learning is going to be more about blended learning or teaching with the instructor online and using material as reference material, or at least access to reference material. And when you take a look at what courses are all about, at the end of the day, you have an instructor, you're the one that's a teacher, you're going, man, I got really something that I'm excited about, I'm passionate about, I know a lot about it because I have a lot of experience with it. I really want to share that, and if I can earn some money, I can earn some money doing that, and maybe I just want to do it because I like instructing and teaching people. Whatever the reason is for you, at the end of the day, you've got information that you want to be able to transfer to people for whatever purpose. And your job as a course creator or a content creator is doing two things. One is curating or collecting that information, and the second one is organizing it and delivering it in a way that's consumable, that helps people get the outcome that they want. So that's the goal for you. And in the past, this is how we did it. Like if I take a look back at the olden days and I think about how I got started, when you did a course, you were often a professional speaker or someone who happened to do or have a PowerPoint presentation that did a live training and actually recorded it. But you created the presentation, you as the speaker, as the expert. If you're just teaching a skill, it's something that you did and maybe you recorded yourself or you had people watch it and do it with you, but it was live. And when people started to capture that and break it into something that they called a course or online learning, or record it and have it in multimodal presentations or a way to be consumed by people, that was great. That was about the curating. That was about the sequencing and structuring things. And, a year ago, that really changed because we could create courses based on these OpenAI or these ChatGPT tools that we gave it a prompt and said to the prompt, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is the context around what I'm trying to do. Act as an expert give me 10 steps. And we were giving instructions to AI tools to actually get it to output the information for us and kind of fine tune or streamline that need for us to kind of not only curate it, but in fact structure it. We could use that as a framework to start structuring our content, start structuring our courses. And there got to be a real boon or a real boom around creating online courses. People went, man, I can do this. I can give a good prompt and I can figure out how to do a prompt, and I'm going to get some content, and then I can record it or make it or turn it into something that I can call a course, and I'm going to put it on my training site and I'm going to sell it, be independently wealthy. Well, if you've been doing that for a while, you know that there's a ton of content coming out, even more than there was before. People are calling it courses. People are not taking the courses. And in fact, the information that's being outputted can be changed the next day as these large language models actually learn and have more background to actually create the content that they're creating from. So that's kind of where it's been at. And the real hindrance for people who were creating courses is being able to get good at prompting, right? There's all sorts of courses, there's all sorts of places and checklists, there's all kinds of strategies about creating a prompt, and the prompt is about making sure that you give context to the OpenAI tool that says, hey, this is who you are, this is the situation, this is the output that I need. But in order to get a good output, you had to make sure that you gave it perfect context and you structured it in a way that the model understood and was able to give you the output that you needed to create a course. And although that saved a whole bunch of time and it's a good foundation, you had to be really, really good at creating these prompts. And if you created crappy prompts, you got crappy content. And if you have crappy content, doesn't matter how hard you sell it, it doesn't sell if it doesn't deliver what it is that you're actually trying to do or actually trying to provide for people. So that's something that really has to happen, is getting those prompts done. And that's been a big change for course creators. But what's the real issue here moving forward? Well, everything changed yesterday, and here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you the couple changes here, and I put the links below that are all about actually the demos of what I'm going to talk about. And the two sites there, one of them is Google, the other one is OpenAI, and these are demo videos that you're going to see, you're going to watch. I could tell you what's in the demo video, but it's better if you just watch them. Now, the thing is, when you're watching them, after you watch this one, and I've got the links here, when you're watching them, these demos are very, very broad. They're for everyone. But what I want you to do is, if you are a course creator, you're a trainer, you're a teacher, someone who's sharing your expertise online, take a look at this and think, how does this apply to creating courses, teaching online, building training and education business, and really, being able to share on this information economy and this user-generated content, all of this great stuff that we have as an opportunity. So we started off, we were all about curating, organizing those tasks all together, creating an output for them. That really happened. Again, the big problem was the prompt had to be perfect, and we had to get really good at creating prompts that gave us the outcome that they wanted. Here's what happened yesterday, and here's the first one. I'll open up this page here. Oh, by the way, I was on the Training Sites IO page here, and I'll just open this one up. We've got two sites. One is we've got teachonline.io, which is our community site that covers all of this and works with you if you're trying to figure this out by yourself. The other one we have is trainingsites.io, which is our agency, and we do all of this for you. If you want a training site, you want courses created, you want a community, we'll build it, help you market it. That's the agency side. Teach Online is the do-it-yourself side. So if I just go and we'll take a look back, and I've got my window open, and I think we've got something traveling by here, so if it gets noisy, please just disregard it. It'll be gone in a minute. Here's the big change. There's a new version of ChatGPT available, and this particular one is called 4.0. So they had 3.5, they had 4, and 4 was the paid one. 3.5 was the newest free one. They've announced another one yesterday, that ChatGPT 4.0, and what that one is about is, that one is Omni. And the thing that's important about this is right here in the second line. It says, can reason across audio, visual, and text in real time. And if you remember previously, before that, what you needed to do is you actually had to go out and you either had to get an extension for ChatGPT that allowed it to scrape content. And when it first started, it only had content from 2 years ago. It wasn't even up to date. So they've started to build that out, but it was stuff you needed, plugins, extensions, all sorts of stuff to get back to that content or access it. And again, it was pretty cumbersome, and you were limited by the quality of the plugin or the extension that you were using to get access to this other content. This big new version can reason across audio, visual, text in real time. So a couple things have happened here. First, you've got all sorts more information to access. And in fact, there's a thing called tokens, which is the actual amount of information that you get to interact with in a session. And I believe it's more than doubled in this version. It's 1 million tokens or 2 million tokens, I forget. Put that in context, it's like 750,000 words of interaction and context around a particular chat that you're having. So that's all changed it. Again, I put the link here. If you haven't seen this page, it says watch real live demos, which I'll open up a sec. But here's the thing that's happened. Because you have access to audio, visual, text in real time, the big change is now this is not about prompting. This is all about the context of a conversation and the context of the text, the audio, and the images that you've included or you are interacting with. It's not about being an interface now directly within the ChatGPT website. The availability of this large language model means that we can interact with it and basically have a conversation with it. And you'll see in all the demos, not only you can have a conversation that is interactive in real time. So remember in the past you had to put you'd put a chat in, for example, a text, you get a response, and then you'd give another prompt, and then you get a response and give another prompt. Think of this as a conversation that's almost instantaneous. And based on the input that you're giving, in terms of not only the text, but the audio and the images, that context is now already directly within the AI tool. What this means to you is you're no longer having to figure out prompts. You're having to interact, share your expertise, and use the ChatGPT tool to round out what is already curated for you. This is going to be huge, and it's going to get rid of, I think, online courses in the simple kind of instance. It's going to be all about teaching online, and again, blended learning, where it's going to be you and the course content that gets created, or the mastery content that gets all of this blended learning, interactive learning, coaching. All of this stuff is going to come into community sites. So conversation based, it has personality, it now has emotions. So you'll get context now as to the language. If something's sad, something's excited, something's curious, something's not. You'll be able to hear in an audio conversation, as example of one of the ways that this gets applied in the demo. You're going to be able to converse with ChatGPT to tell them about the course and get their feedback on the actual course. And there's some real great demos here on how this actually goes into place. We're talking about the ability to really change how we teach online. It's not about organizing course content anymore. It's about guaranteeing outcomes with ChatGPT enhanced content and your expertise of how it gets applied to your learner's individual instance or situation. The content that gets created now is in context because of these new tools that were announced yesterday. What's happening now is we're guiding the people through that context and their content, and we're guiding them through the outcome or the result or the skill that they want. So that's kind of the big thing. The second thing here is that we now have interconnected complex tasks. Now let me give you an example of why this is important. If you think about it, and let's go back and I'll open up. Now Google had one as well, right? They had Google Gemini. I'll just open this one up so that you showed you. And this particular one, again, it's here. General natural conversations help with complex plans. And this one is an interesting one. They showed an example here of, let me just pull up the actual one from the keynote. Again, I put the links here. This is the one where the keynote. So let's say, for example, they give an example this time about what are called gems. Google Gems. And what it is, it's going to be able to pull context together and do the complete task. So here's the example they use. They said, let's say you bought tickets, airplane tickets, and hotel tickets for a trip that you were going to do. They were in your email. The example that they gave is you would ask and just say, look, can you plan my trip for this week? It'll go through your emails. It'll go through the tickets. It'll organize in terms of the timing, the tickets, the structure, all of the travel, whether it be Ubers or taxis, restaurants, activities. You can say, look, I'm interested in the museums or arts or sporting events. It will book everything out around for you based on the context. You couldn't do this before. So that's what they're doing in a consumer situation. What about if someone says, I want to be able to learn how to frame a wall, or I want to be able to learn how to write a computer program, or I want to be able to learn how to be a public speaker. Any of these things that you are trying to teach now can be put into context quickly based on the information that you have in a Google Doc, in a sheet, on a hard drive. Any of your context, it can all be brought together and put into a complex task. So if we were curating before, that was fine. Our job was, the instructor, was to organize it. That whole step now has been taken advantage of and is now available in these two tools. So this is really wild stuff. And again, I get excited about this and a little bit scared. I'm going to tell you why I'm scared. The thing is that I get flipped out on this because it's exciting stuff to me. The thing is that most people are still trying to figure out how to, put a course up on a website. So I get ahead of the game here, which is something that I have to deal with personally. At the end of the day, this stuff happened in the last year. I'm betting that in the next 6 months or 8 months, we're going to see something dramatic change again. And then after that, it's going to be 4 months. Things are getting very, very, very quickly condensed or compressed in terms of how not only do we organize content, but do we apply content in context. This is wild stuff. And if you're in an education business, if you are selling courses or building training sites or want to teach online, you got to keep up with this, and more importantly, keep in context for yourself, knowing what it is that you teach or what it is that you're providing for the service, the outcome or the skill that you're trying to train and let people know about. There's a huge opportunity here for you if you are in a position to take advantage of the tools that are available to you and still be clear on what it is that you're trying to help people to do. So these are some of the open tabs I was looking at yesterday. Again, this is wild, exciting stuff. Go check out the videos below. And more importantly, if you're looking at this and you're going, okay, great, man, I'm into it, but I don't have time for it, give us a call at trainingsites.io. Just go to trainingsites.io/talk. Book some time. Love to help you out, give you some options, see what it is you can do. And if you know you don't want anyone to do it for you, want to learn how to do all of this yourself, just go visit teachonline.io. It's our free community site. You can go join up, and we're starting to put all of this new stuff in. And the reason is, for me, I mentioned at the start, is I'm in a position where I've got 40 or 50 courses there. Great content. Does it necessarily apply to all of this AI stuff? Nope, it doesn't. It's stuff that's still worthwhile to learn, and it's good information for you. But at the end of the day, what skill is it you want to teach people? And more importantly, how are you going to do it? Using these tools, creating your own training site, your education business is there. Learning how to teach online are the other pieces. So I hope you enjoy them. Like and subscribe to the channel. We have these every day. Again, these are live ad hoc kind of open tabs, ones that are available for you. And I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below. So take care and expect the best. This is James Maduke from trainingsites.io.